In this video, I'm going to talk about my special experience with karma while I was in Indonesia. For the past 4 years, we have been flying out, spending around 1 month to get away from the harsh winter here in this middle, no AC part of China. This year, we have decided to spend our time in Bali, Indonesia. Warm weather, exotic food, cute animals, everything had been so lovely for the first 3 weeks until things started to change. For those who don't know what karma is, according to Wikipedia, Karma Group's business units include resorts, spas, beaches, real estate that generate revenues through timeshare and fractional ownership, as well as hotel services. If you have been to Bali, or if you are in Bali already, I'm pretty sure you have been greeted by one of those spokesmen at least once. I have been stopped by them 4 times. 4 times. They're everywhere, especially in touristic places like Kuta, Nusa Dua, Jimbaran, etc. So here's how I went from refusal to skeptical to finally agree to visit their resorts. First, contact. On our second day in Indonesia, my parents, my boyfriend, and I went to Kuta beach. Upon leaving, a local guy approached my boyfriend. His speech was natural enough that my boyfriend stopped and started talking to him. My parents and I waited from a distance for a while, and then I finally went and joined them. We were offered 2 scratch cards. The one that I got said I won the first prize, which is a 1-week stay in a hotel, a GoPro, or a $200 cash. Knowing that I won the first prize, the spokesman got super excited. He shook my hand to congratulate me. He then asked us to go immediately with him to the resorts to claim the prize. He even told us that if we do him a favor and go with him, he would be granted a $100 bonus. We were very sure that it was a scam, but we told him that we would go on another day, just to be polite, and left. Second encounter. We stayed in an Airbnb in Denpasar, where there was a Chinese food street vendor. I liked going there because it was right across the street, and the food there was delicious with a fairly reasonable price. And one night while we were there, struggling to communicate with the cook, who then introduced us to his friend, List. List helped us with the translation. We then sat together and chatted for a while. Then I accidentally got to know that he worked for Karma as well. We told him the whole incident and expressed our doubt. List's reply made me feel like that it might not be as scam as I thought. He also told us that if we want to go, we can contact him, so we exchanged our WhatsApp number. After the second encounter, I was so surprised that someone I met in the street turned out to work for Karma. The 2 scratch cards were tossed in the trash can, but we picked them up again after meeting List. I was asked when we would like to go to visit them, but we kept delaying the date. Third encounter. One day my boyfriend and I went to Parkson shopping mall in Kuta to get some SD cards. Upon opening the car door, a voice saying my boyfriend's name turned our heads. My boyfriend was thinking who would know him in Indonesia when surprisingly again, List showed up in front of us. He then took us to the company's booth in the shopping mall where we met his boss and another colleague. After a brief talk, we settled the time for the visit. The next day. That night, after knowing that we would go to Karma the next day, I did some online research about the company. I found some posts on TripAdvisor where a lot of people say that it was a scam and left negative reviews about their visits. I was a bit nervous on one hand, but on the other, thought that it could be legit since we met List while he was off work by accident. At least I was prepared. Presentation day. That morning, List and his boss picked us up in front of the resorts we stayed in, took us to Jimbaran, where Karma's office was located. Before leaving the car, List reassured us that we could discontinue the presentation anytime we want. We checked the time and it was 10-something. We got out of the car and was escorted to the reception. List handed in our information as well as some other documents that we filled in the Parkson shopping mall to one of the receptionists. We had a few words with the receptionists, and then a consultant called Dennis showed up, well dressed. He would take us to a room upstairs. On our way, we stopped in front of a TV screen where a list of clients who signed up for the membership were scrolling on the screen. They were from all over the world, mainly Australia, then America, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Thailand, etc. The room upstairs was a huge room with a lot of tables. A few group of people were already sitting at separate tables, listening and talking to their own consultant. There was loud music in the background, so we couldn't really hear what others were talking about. We sat down at one of the tables. Dennis broke the ice by introducing himself. In exchange, we talked a little bit about ourselves. He then took out a Karma Group brochure and started introducing the company. After that, he asked us our holiday preferences and spendings and such. After all these were done, he asked us if we would like to take a look at some of the resorts nearby. We agreed. We then got on another car and got taken to a big resort in Jimbaran. Then another. They were very nice, stone decorated, a lot of greens, European looking. One of them had a private beach that's only available to their own guests. After the sightseeing was done, Dennis took us to a dinner restaurant and treated us to lunch. He later took us back to the office to finish the rest of the presentation. Here's where we finally got down to the real business. We were presented with a price breakdown of the membership. During this part, Dennis called out his manager a couple of times to answer some of our questions. Dennis was a nice guy, but I wasn't fond of the manager, who was a middle-aged man, salesy, pushy, and impatient. At the end, we told him that we would like to go back and think about it before making any decisions. We expressed our apology to Dennis. He said it was fine and we were very nice, while other people that went there was rude and disrespectful, which I kind of understood. Dennis said his part was done and then led us to another room downstairs. A staff greeted us. We sat down at the desk. The staff told us that the prize we have won: 1 week stay in one of their resorts for free, as expected. We were also given a 300,000 rupiah voucher for a restaurant in Bali collection in Nusa Dua, as well as a couple of vouchers for the restaurants and bars. After that, we had our free ride back to our resort. We checked the time and it was already 4 something. We spent 5 hours there. On our way back, we chatted a little bit with the driver. We got to know that he used to work at the office. And then some accident happened to him, and the management was nice enough to keep him in the company and let him take the clients back to the place after they finished the presentation. Also, through that, he can get some business as driver and local guide if the clients need the service. Unfortunately, we've gone to almost all the places that we wanted to go. So this is my experience with Karma. One thing I was pretty impressed with, almost all of their employees speak good English, which is rare in Bali. I wouldn't say that the Karma membership is a scam. It's just that their marketing is very aggressive. Had we not met List, we wouldn't have gone to listen to the presentation. And had we not stayed in Bali for such a long time, we wouldn't have gone to listen to the presentation either. So if you go to Bali, just want to enjoy yourself, or if you're not interested in the membership and don't want to regret giving out your credit card information in the future, I would say stay away from the Karma guys. But if you think that you'll benefit from it by either sitting through the presentation or joining the membership, then I'll say, sure, why not? He shook my hand